Yeah, so let's just come, you want to come in through here? Oh, you need a chair. Hey,
no.
Bob,
I was a photog in a war zone, a jungle. I don't need a chair.
All right, well, why don't you start by telling us about your career?
Well, where do you want me to start?
Well, you've done a lot of different things. You started out as a war photographer.
Photog?
Sorry, what?
The term is photog.
Okay, well, in your previous career, you spent a lot of time behind enemy lines. Tell us about what that was like.
I am so glad you asked, Marjorie.
My name's not Marjorie.
It was definitely not the same as sitting here with you. We spent a lot of time in the jungle, and so of course the setting was different. There were these vines and these huge trees and the strangest, most amazing flora, and you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a few vines along the way.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us about the war zone? How much fighting did you see, and how did that affect your outlook on life, the world, your art?
Great question, Marjorie. I think the main thing that I really took away from the whole experience is I'm glad to be out of those vines.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's just, vines are awful. Sometimes, Marjorie.
Who's Marjorie?
You just don't know.
I don't know.
Up in them.
Was she like this in the screen test?
I don't think we did a screen
Wrapped
test.
around your neck for no apparent reason. And
What is Bob again? Yeah.
That people question. It sucks.
I think she's finishing
Anyway. Ultimately, I just think I really gravitate towards these rich visual descriptions because, as my best-selling book shows, I've really found this career is my calling. My best-selling author career. I am so glad I have this to fall back on.
Well, right. Okay. So that leads us nicely into the next section of your career. Tell us about how you got away from photography.
Photogging?
Sorry?
The term you're searching for is photogging. Don't worry, we all make mistakes.
Okay. Tell us how you decided to switch careers.
Well, I really loved my former career, and I am really grateful for everything it brought me and did for my life, but ultimately, once I'd been a photog for a while, it just sort of began to feel like I was a cog in the machine. It began to feel mundane. I'd become known in my field. There just wasn't anywhere else to go, and I needed to do something more creative.
So you chose writing. Was that a quick decision? Tell us how you made that.
Well, I just thought I really had something to share, and that I could really talk to people through my experiences in the jungle. And now it's a bestseller, so I must have been doing something right.
So let's talk about your book. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it is a fictional account based on your own experience chronicling the war effort. Is that correct?
That's right. Marjorie, okay. That is very right.
Okay. Well,
the book?
Tell us.
Yes, the book. The book is called Assassinating in the Jungle, and it is my debut novel, the first of many, if its best-selling status is any indication.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you think people or your fans want to know about you, or should know about you, maybe?
Well, I'm really just a regular guy. I mean, just because I went straight from running around war zones in the jungle to being a best-selling author doesn't mean I'm any different than you.
Good to hear. So you've chosen some really interesting careers that maybe have some stereotypical characteristics attached to them, maybe brave, adventurous, etc. How do you think you differ or are the same from those characteristics in your own personality?
Well, I think adventurous is actually
okay. Well, maybe I should rephrase. What is the one word that's word singular that your closest friends and family would use to describe you?
Gamine.
Gamine? That. Well, I think that's our time. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, ow, my wrist. I'm sorry, I signed so many best-selling novels the other day. Oh, it
Right.
just hurts. Here.
Okay. Well, why don't I just...
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
Keep
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I signed that one for you, Marjorie.
Oh, wow, so you did. That's so kind of you. Why don't you come this way? Yeah, the door. So it's right over there. Yeah, that perfect.